lot of activities going on, and we're very fortunate that we've had some good rainfall and some good weather and some more rainfall. So, but again, thank you all for being here. This is a special call meeting for the Shawnee Civic Development Authority. And with that, we'll ask Casey to have roll call, please.
Derek?
Here.
Gilbert?
Here.
Morris?
Here.
Packwood? Simpson?
Here.
Wortham?
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum of the meeting. We hear call Packwood again.
Party. Yeah, I'm here.
So, again, thank you all for being here today. Casey, with this being a holiday week, Casey got our agenda filed in the required 48-hour time requirements to meet the guidelines with Oklahoma statute for the special call meetings. With that, we'll look at agenda item number 1, consideration approval of the minutes from the April 3rd special call meetings. If you have those electronically, and you also have a copy at your place in front of you, you can take a few moments and look at the minutes.
Move for approval.
We have a motion by Carl,
Yeah. Second.
second by Tim to approve the minutes as presented. Do we have any discussion? Do we have any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Packwood?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Gilbert?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Wortham?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 2, discussion, consideration, approval of an agreement with Potawatomi County memorializing November 21, 2024. Board approval of transferring the ownership of the International Finals Youth Rodeo, IFYR, intellectual property, including registered name, social media account, website domain, and et cetera, to Potawatomi County. We have a copy of that in our packet, as well as it was posted on the agenda. If you'll please take a moment and look at the contract. I think, if I may, I believe the actions were taken. The contract is just to formalize the agreement that the trust authority, the IPRA, and the county have in place. It's a written document, written contract, just to formalize the agreement. So.
Well, but it's also, I mean, I'd like to point out that that contract was signed last December, and that's the same contract that all 5 of us, minus Mr. Barrett, because he wasn't here last time, agreed that we never voted on this contract. So if we're memorializing something we never voted on, that seems a little odd. Now, we did vote to transfer ownership, but we did not vote on that contract. And I want you guys to read through that contract, because it states in there very clearly that if it's not signed by both parties, it's not even valid. And it's only signed by one party, and only has been this entire time.
I think if it's my understanding, part of very good point. Part of the agreement for the agenda item today is for the trust authority to sign the contract, to which is our part.
Well, but this is also saying to transfer ownership, and I wanted the part brought up about the ownership because I wanted to change my vote on that and have us re-vote, because I've never seen any documentation that says that I can transfer ownership to county of our property. I mean, I never have. I even asked the county clerk's office for the mediation agreement. They don't have a copy of it. Not one. So we could, to me, it seems like we could vote on two things. One is to not transfer the ownership, since we're also not transferring ownership of the physical assets, we're just allowing them to use them. So if we want to do the contract that's already been signed, that's only for use of. And then the contract for ownership, it never said like when do they take over ownership. I mean, and that can come up in the next contract about the use of the physical property, because it looks like, it reads like it could go on forever. Because it says renew every year, and if we're dissolving, there's no reason to renew anything, because we're dissolving. I mean, thoughts from anybody?
It's my understanding that back in November, for the IFYR and the International Finals Rodeo to exist in 25, we made the agreement with the county to transfer the name only, none of the assets, none of the equipment.
The intellectual property, yes.
And so we are formalizing that, and then the other contract, I believe, that we have to review is the fact that the county and the IFYR can use the assets that belong to the trust authority.
Okay, so if we transfer ownership to them, then we don't need to do a contract for them to use anything, because they just own it.
I think it's just a cleanup, but I mean, it's to formalize the agreement, kind of a cleanup. But the use of the equipment, that still belongs to the trust authority. But once the trust authority then is dissolved, the hard physical assets then will be transferred to the city of Shawnee. So if it comes, I don't foresee us having the dissolution done by July the, what's the date of the rodeo? 6th. But this is just to make sure that whatever assets are on the expo grounds, they can use the stalls, the pens, the buck and shoots.
Well, that's a different agenda item though. I mean,
Yeah.
for the intellectual property, the one we're talking about now, if we give them ownership, which we already have done,
We have.
then there's no point in having a contract for them to use something they already own. But if we're gonna do a contract for them to use them, because
This intellectual property agreement's not for them to use, it's for them to own. It's transferring it to them.
Right.
okay,
It's not an agreement to let them use it this year, the way I read it. Because there's a purchase price of $1, it talks about it being effective when it's last signed by the last signer. You know, I guess you're reading something I'm not seeing, or.
well, one thing is you don't have to give, there's not a possibility of giving something back when you buy it. And I know you're gonna say, well, you can buy something from Walmart and take it back. But if we're giving them ownership, then there's no reason for us to ever take it back, and there's an ability in here to take it back. So if we're giving them ownership, then we wouldn't have any reason to take it back.
Who wrote this agreement?
Stacy, I would imagine, because of the municipalities, we have a county, we have the partnership with the city of Shawnee, which is a municipality. We have a Title 60 trust, which is the Shawnee Civic and Cultural Development Authority. This is just a formalization agreement that says we have the agreement, we have the minutes, we needed to have the minutes, and as all of us know, the minutes for a meeting are not effective until they're approved at the following meeting. They're only drafts. So this is, to me, I'm like Carl, this is only to formalize the agreement that we made back in November.
Okay, so will someone please show me
And all the
writing
legal aspects
where we
involved.
have authority to give away property that the city of Shawnee owns? Someone show me that in writing.
And you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No, I'm
Rob.
not, man.
Yes, you are, because you agreed that we gave it to them.
Yeah, we did give them
Okay,
ownership. That
okay.
was my vote. But
Okay,
this
but
contract,
you
we
said-
never
you
saw.
said we gave it to them.
But
Right.
this contract was
And now
never in
you're
front of
saying
us.
We didn't give it to them. So what happened?
No, that's not what I was saying, actually. We did vote to give ownership. We didn't vote on that contract at all. That contract was never in front of us. I made that point out loud at the last meeting. That none of us had ever seen that contract, and I'm pretty sure that you even agreed that you never saw it when I asked y'all.
This contract was drawn up and signed by the county in December.
And that doesn't mean
We
a
have
hill
not-
of beans.
And we have not had an opportunity to look at it and approve it as of yet. And that's why we're doing it today.
So then why are they using all the property and have been for the last 6 months? Contracts mean something, man. Because this isn't our property. This isn't actually the city of Shawnee's property. It's the people that pay taxes. And I hate to, sound like an old wheel there, but that's true. And we're supposed to be up here doing good things with their money. And right now, I don't have anything that tells me, even if I go to the county clerk's office, which I did, I have proof of that, and asked for a mediation agreement of what all was supposed to be done between us, the city, and county. There isn't anything. There's no copy of anything there. So if we transfer ownership, which we're not allowed to do by our indenture, because all the city is the beneficiary, just like Randy pointed out, the physical assets all go back to the city. Why wouldn't we be giving those to county too?
At our November meeting, when this agenda item was addressed about transferring the ownership, at that time, the current city manager she had a written, I don't want to say a document, she had written verbiage where she had consulted the city attorney of what we could transfer, and it was only the intellectual property, the social domain.
So why didn't we ever see that document? Because I don't believe people's word.
The current city manager had that written out, and I think she read it from her, is what made the motion from the November meeting effective.
You sure it wasn't
the
just her
current city
talking?
manager's verbiage.
But it wasn't just her saying, I spoke with the city attorney, because I don't remember us ever having a document in front of us saying that.
I don't think she had a document she presented, she had it written out in her hand.
Okay, well then once again, where is the proof that that's valid? Because just because she's the city manager, I hate to tell you, that does not mean that's valid. It doesn't. It's like me walking outside and saying the sky's green just because I want it to be.
She's a member of the trust authority and a representative of the city of Shawnee. The city manager, based on the original indenture of the trust authority, it does not have a name of the individual. It has the city manager position is a member of the trust authority, so they really kind of fulfill two roles. One, to represent the city, and then two, as a voting member of the Shawnee of the Title 60 Trust, Shawnee Civic Culture Development Authority. So, I think this document is only based on legal discussion for the entities involved. This is just to memorialize the agreement that we already have in place.
Okay, so
And then
show me
once
where I'm
we
allowed
sign
to
it
give
today-
ownership, because I want to change my vote. That's kind of why I wanted this on the agenda. And that's why you got the email from Casey about my concerns about it.
Well, you're not gonna change your vote from November. You can vote no on this agreement,
Right.
but you can't change your vote once you did it in November.
Well, then change
that's
my
dead
vote
and
was
gone.
not the correct terms to use. I can rescind my vote in the manner of not voting today or making sure that the minutes reflect that I think I voted incorrectly back then. And that's fact. I've already checked that with people that actually do get to make the law and enforce the law. So I would just like to know, hell, if you can show me something that says I can give ownership, I'll vote yes.
So
But show me a document.
I'm gonna have to ask for your help here because I don't wanna say some things that I shouldn't step into. So I'm hearing what you say. So the way I feel about this is when we were in our negotiations with the city and the county and all in that room, at that particular time, the city authorized us to transfer those as part of our negotiated terms in those meetings.
Correct.
And so that's kind of how it got happened, nothing in writing, but in the negotiated terms in that meeting is when that authorization was given for us to transfer that asset.
Okay, so where is it in writing that says that? Because just because it was said in the room, man, the city
I
manager
understand what
said
you're
here-
saying, but that was in a confidential setting, so I don't know that anything of that comes out in writing and is presented to
Well, it
the
can,
general
it's the
public.
same
And so
thing.
I'm not against, you need to answer that better
Well,
than
I
me.
think that's what led to it being on your agenda, and then when you voted on it and approved it, that's what formalized that the SCCDA was willing to transfer those items to the county. I mean, we have to remember the whole purpose of the contract was to ensure that the IFYR continues and that the county would take over the financial responsibility of having it. So you had a trust, and I've read the trust indenture, and it is my understanding that the city of Shawnee is the beneficiary of the trust. While the SCCDA is acting, the board has the authority to buy, sell, trade, or do anything through the normal course of businesses in regards to what it has authority over. It's not until the trust is completely dissolved, then at that point, whatever's left will be transferred to the city of Shawnee. And so in coming up with this situation, I don't even know that the county asked for the assets at the time. I know it was important to the county to get access to the name and actually having the business so that we could move forward and actually conducting and having the rodeo.
And as Lance mentioned in the mediation, it was important for the trust authority to have the continuance of the IFYR in Shawnee. So that's when the county agreed to say, yes.
Yes, so it's, I mean, it's my opinion, you've already voted and it's already been approved, and so we're just formalizing that in this contract.
So it just doesn't, I'm asking the legal opinion now, so it just doesn't matter that anyone thinks that they voted incorrectly. I mean, that's just,
I think if you want that posted in the minutes today, that that's what your decision is, I think that can be done. I don't think you can go back and change previous minutes.
okay, well, is it too much, asking legal opinion again, is it too much to ask for a document that shows that I can give ownership? Because like I said, when I went to the county clerk's office, there ain't one.
Well, did you hear
That's
what, I mean, what she just said is, we have the ability to buy, sell, trade, do whatever with any of the assets until we dissolve. Once we dissolve, it all goes to the city.
Okay, so then I would ask.
That's when the city becomes the beneficiary.
So-
The trust is when the trust is dissolved.
Is when we dissolve, but I would say right now, why on earth would we give away the city's money? By giving away the intellectual property rights and all that kind of stuff,
Because
because that's money value.
they agreed,
Because
they
they told us
told us to, they agreed to it in the mediation.
I know, but I wasn't, see, guys, I didn't get to be in that mediation. The only time I got to be was when I got a refresher back here when the city attorney tried to browbeat everybody into signing that stupid confidentiality agreement. And then after we voted on that and brought it back out, all of that became public information, which means the mediation agreement y'all had back when, because me and Susie were there at that meeting. It was at the old county building, because they took public comments off because I knocked on the door and walked in because y'all were talking about stuff you shouldn't have been. I mean, that's a fact back then. So if we're gonna do all this, let's at least do it right.
I think we are.
I see, but show me where the, okay, then show me.
I don't think we have to show you anything, Rob. I think that's where we disagree. I don't think, because we went through this in mediation. It was all agreed upon by all three committees, SCCDA, the county, and the city, all in that agreement terms.
To dissolve and let county take over.
And
I
when we
agree with
made,
that.
but then this was part of that mediation agreement,
To let them use the intellectual property.
to transfer it to them.
Yeah, to use. That's what this contract says to me. And man, if y'all wanna make a motion if you want me to stop talking. I mean, there's an easy way to do that. That's how
I'll make a
meetings
motion to
work.
approve it.
Second.
We have a motion by Carl, second by Tim to approve the, memorializing the ownership agreement with the county and the Trust Authority for International Finals Youth Rodeo, IFYR. Intellectual property including registered names, social media accounts, website, domain, and et cetera to Potawatomi County. Do we have any discussion? Do we have any discussion?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Stacy. Roll call vote, please.
Atwood,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Morris,
No.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-1.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 3, discussion, consideration, approval of an agreement to allow Potawatomi County and International Pro Rodeo Association, IPRA, to use the Shawnee Civic and Culture Development Authority, SCCDA assets for the 2025 IFYR. They, with the ownership of the trust authority, with ownership of the intellectual ownership of the IFYR and the International Final Youth Rodeo going to the county. Again, the trust authority is the ownership of the assets which is the pens, the stalls, buck and shoots, all the above that it takes to allow the rodeo to happen. This is just an agreement to allow the county and the IPRA to use our assets, so if it comes up, if by chance the trust authority was dissolved prior to July 6th, and the city of Shawnee says, no, you can't use our equipment, and OVG says, we're in charge of it, so no, you can't. We have an agreement, which I don't believe any of that's ever gonna happen. We have great relationships going on. So, but this is just to formalize the agreement so that we can continue on and have IFYR 2025.
So moved.
We have a motion by Carl. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Tim to approve the agreement to allow Potawatomi County and IPRA to use the Shawnee Civic Culture Development Authority assets for the 2025 IFYR.
Okay, so for discussion on
Any
that,
discussion?
like
Yes.
you said, Mr. Chair, the minutes don't become effective until we voted on them. And since we approved the minutes today, if you read in there, it says that the motion for this contract was for IPRA, Spectra, or Oakview, and county. The contract doesn't mention Oakview at all. Now, the next thing is the contract, I think it's kind of interesting that it says can be renewed every year. If we're dissolving, why do we need to renew anything? Because that means this just goes on in perpetuity. It literally never has to end, because we voted last time to where it'll just be whoever the city manager is, hopefully it's still Mark, but whoever the city manager is at that time, and you doing everything with county, and that's it. This committee just won't get told anything anymore.
This is to formalize that agreement. We would like to think by December of 2025 that the trust authority would be dissolved, but we don't really know that because we don't know all the details it takes to dissolve. We know the details. We don't know all that's gonna be required for us to dissolve.
Well, we were
And-
told 6
and I
months,
think
and it's been
most-
over a year.
Most contracts have an agreement just to renew annually. That's just a typical.
No, actually, they
Contract
don't
agreement.
always have. A lot of times it's just a 1-year contract or a one-time contract, which is pretty much what this should be. Now, I will go back to where the motion that I made, that Mr. Worthing seconded, and that all 5 of us voted for was for Spectra Oakview, County, and IPRA to be in this contract. Not all 3 of them are in this contract. Oakview's not. And we don't have a contract with them. The city of Shawnee does. Because
That's
remember,
correct.
we were all bent out of shape because we didn't get to have a say in any of that. So I'll tell you right now, I'm voting no on this because it's not even what we motioned for at the last meeting. And that's in the previous minutes that we voted on at the very beginning. It's number 4.
Do we have any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Hackwood,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Morris,
No.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-1.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 3, discuss consideration of an invoice from Attorney Brad West for the completion of the dissolution of the SCCDA Trust. This is an agreement that the county has so graciously agreed to pay that invoice. So, Brad sent that over, Attorney West sent that over, West Law Firm. And there's a copy of it in your packet. Do I have a motion?
So
With,
moved.
with the county paying the invoice.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tim Barrett, second by Carl Packwood, to approve the, invoice for Attorney Brad West. Do you have any discussion?
Is he supposedly to see this throughout the process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, and Brad said whatever it takes,
Okay, good.
so. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Barrett,
Yes.
Gilbert. Oh, sorry, Packwood,
Yes.
Wortham,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Motion passes, and we will send that on to the county, and thank you so much for the partnership with the county, they're good work. Item number 5, discussion and consideration of approval of any remaining business that needs to be addressed prior to finalizing the dissolution of the SCCDA trust. I think there's a couple of things that are in the process of being resolved. One is the Title 60 trust cannot dissolve as long as there's debt. We have a little debt involved. I'm in the process of trying to reach out to a local accounting firm for an audit. The audit is gonna be quite lengthy and quite extenuous because the last audit we have was, the last inventory asset sheet we have was from 2019. So some group is gonna have to go to the expo and count every piece of every table, every chair, every vehicle,
I volunteer.
every panel, all the above. So when it
As soon as
gets
the
there.
rodeo's over.
Yeah,
I won't bother with anything till they're done and everybody's back out of town.
okay. So those are probably the two things that I see that are the challenges. One is the debt, and two, to find an audit firm, so. But we're having that discussion on both of those.
I remember that being the end of it. I knew that the inventory was gonna be the,
The big,
yeah. So, but Rob, thanks for
Yeah.
stepping up. Yeah, that'll help go, yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be a multifaceted process. Some of them panels I personally have touched way too many times, and you guys have too, so.
Grabbed on too heavy, I know that.
That's a different kind of weightlifting.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're in the process of working on that, Casey, so thank you for having that on the agenda. Item number 6, consideration of engagement letter with Arledge and Associates for the audit services, year end in 2023. We have deferred that because I think it could be beneficial to have a local firm, as much time and effort and hours that's gonna be spent, so I would again ask that we table that, defer that. So, or I guess we take no action, Casey, Lisa, is that, we just take no action on that one? Number 6?
We could defer it to a future meeting, and
Yes.
then whenever we get everything set up, we can put it back on the agenda instead of putting it to the.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Defer it to a future meeting. Somewhere in time.
do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Carl, second by Tim to defer the engagement letter with Arledge and Associates to a future meeting. Do we have any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Packwood,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Morris,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Wortham.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Motion passes. Thank you. And with the statutory obligations of a special call meeting, we have no place for public comments, open or old business or new business, so. With that, item number 7, have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Carl, second by Rob to adjourn. That's a privileged motion, no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, stay here. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.